Sing me a song of a lass that is gone. Say, could that lass be I? Mary of soul, she sailed on a day over the sea to sky.
Hey everyone, Owlvine here. So I just wanted to have a little chat today, like a chat. I'm sitting in like a new little space I've created here. I got some really cool gifts for my birthday. I have this, you can't really see the top of this, but this cool like poof thing that I should take a photo of and put on Instagram, and like this cool like lantern. And I was like, where am I going to put them? And I've been wanting like a little reading nook. So I'm sitting between two bookshelves here, and so I've created like this little nice little space. Which looks cooler if we're zoomed out, but anyway, that's fine. So I thought I'd just sit here and just like have a talk. I've got my tea, my little elephant mug. Guess where I found it? It was at charity store the other day. And I'm drinking like some kind of weird tea that to me smells like cereal. It smells like cereal. No one believes me. My husband and my son both think I'm crazy, but it smells like cereal, but it tastes really good. So I'm drinking that. So I wanted to talk today about ebb and flow. This has been something that's been a theme in my life lately, something that my attention has been drawn to, relating to all areas of my life. But to start off with, I wanted to talk about my spirituality. And I want to kind of share what's been going on. I think a lot of the time online, on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram, whatever, obviously the things that are shared on those platforms are snapshots, of someone's life, of someone's day. And a lot of the things that are shared are really positive, like the highlights. It's a highlights reel. For some people, lowlights, they like to put things out, that aren't, the bad things about their day or whatever. But I try and keep it positive. The reason for that is I feel like there's enough negativity in the world. The way I kind of like to spend my online time is reading about things that are more positive. I don't mind hearing about people's problems at all. And I think particularly between people who are closer, it's a very important thing, to kind of share and be open and be honest and say, this is what's going on in my life. And I think that that's okay, on online platforms as well. But I think there's a certain way to do it. I think that, some people come across as just kind of complaining or just venting, or, like they're doing it very much from, a self-serving, place. And I decided that, I don't want to do that. Like I want to create a safe space for other people to hang out and express and whatever, but in a way that is, okay, I'm looking for a word here. In a way that's empowering. I think that a lot of the kind of complaining and venting can be very disempowering to the person who is saying it, but also to other people who are listening. It can kind of feed that kind of stuckness, the negativity, the bad feelings or whatever. So anyway, I just want to create a mostly, just positive place, a nice place to hang out, and because those are the places that I choose to be. I choose to watch people and spend my online time with people who I feel inspired and empowered by. Not because their life is perfect, but because they're actively working to make their lives better, working on themselves, growing themselves, expanding themselves. That's something that's really important to me in my life, because I've spent many, many years as a disempowered person, stuck in negative, deep, dark thoughts, and I don't ever want to go back to that place. It was completely unhelpful. It was awful, and I don't think that it's helpful. Anyway, that finished on a bit of a dive, didn't it? So I wanted to talk about ebb and flow. And anyway, so a lot of people share these, these highlight reels. At the moment in my spirituality, I'm not going through a flow stage. I'm not going through a hugely positive stage. I'm not going through one of those stages where I'm like, yeah, I'm the witch, I'm going through a stage where I'm questioning myself, and I'm questioning my practice, and I'm going, what's going on here? I'm not feeling connected. All that kind of thing. And, I wanted to share that because, that's real and it happens, and we all go through these ebbs and flows. We all go through stages where we're going, like, we're looking at other people going, those people are, practicing all the time, and they're like, seem to have this channel directly to divinity, and, all this kind of thing, and what's wrong with me because I don't have that right now, or whatever. So yeah, I'm feeling a bit like that now. So I thought I just wanted to share it a bit, and go from there. So I've just come from a place of not too long ago, like maybe a month or two ago, feeling really connected and so plugged in and just like on fire, and like I know where I'm going, and like I'm feeling spiritual, I'm feeling magical. This is awesome. To a stage now where that's not the case, and it's gotten me down a lot. Like I've had those thoughts of like, what's wrong with me, and what am I not doing, and all this kind of thing. The fact is, at the moment, I am focused on other areas of my life. So for a long time now, spirituality has been my main focus, my main area of focus in my life. And it's not that anymore. So we all have several or many focus areas in our lives. So relationships, health, spirituality, adventure, work or career, I don't know what else, those sorts of things. It may be like home, it may be study and learning, growth, all those, it could be any of those, all of those, whatever, variations of those. So for me at the moment, I have begun in the last few weeks really starting to focus on my health again. So before I began focusing on spirituality, health was my main focus. I haven't really spoken about this before, but in that time where I was focused on health, I went from eating a SAD diet, standard, it's American diet that it usually stands for, but we can say standard Australian diet. I was quite unhealthy. I was eating a lot of meat. I was eating a lot of junk food, and just like really not taking care of myself. And so in that time, I began looking at my diet, and for me that meant taking out meat. Not that I think that eating meat is unhealthy. I think eating too much meat is unhealthy, which is what I was doing. Just want to say that. So I went from, eating that way, eating really unhealthy, huge amounts of just everything that wasn't good for me, bread and, wheat and just hardly any fruits or vegetables really, to being a whole food vegan. And a high raw whole food vegan. And in that time, not just when I was on that diet, but beforehand as well, I lost 38 kilos, which is roughly 77 pounds. I worked out, see, I'm doing the pounds thing. For all of you out there who are knowledgeable in the pound. So I was doing that, I lost a lot of weight, and for me it was like I was trying to find my worth. I was doing it because I felt unworthy, and I felt that I didn't deserve love looking the way I did. And I did all the healthy things for a lot of very unhealthy reasons. And when I reached the stage of, when I reached my goal weight, I realized that I still had all of these problems sitting there. I hadn't got rid of them. Like, just because I felt, you know, just because I looked a certain way and could dress exactly how I wanted and all that kind of thing, like it hadn't gotten rid of all those problems. So I ended up putting most of that weight back on again. And then I began searching more, because I was like, well, this isn't filling me. Like I need more. Like, so that's when I stumbled upon my spiritual path, and I've briefly spoken about that in the past. So what I did say that is through raw foodism, I found paganism, which kind of sounds like a weird link. But I was watching someone on YouTube who was a very spiritual person, and that really opened me up. And then I searched into paganism because of that. And that's kind of a whole nother story. So I'm really focused on my health right now. And for me, I've been thinking of it quite disjointedly. Like, you know, I have spirituality and then there's health, and that's a separate area. But it's really not. I think, you know, purely just through the way that I came to spirituality, it's not. But also, we are holistic beings. We are a whole being. We are made of spirit and matter. We are physical as well as ethereal. You know, there are so many components that make us up. And I've been feeling like I've been almost like saying one thing and doing another. You know, I've been kind of being one way in my spiritual life while neglecting my physical body. And I don't want to do that anymore. You know, physically, I'm starting to get aches and pains and things like this. And I'm 28 years old. Like that, there is no excuse for that. Well, there is, obviously. But I am overall in good health. And to have aches and pains at my age purely because I'm not eating well and not exercising is a joke. So I'm sick of that. I have other health problems as well, which I'm not going to go into now, which I want to deal with. You know, I want to get this done. And I feel like it's almost like the next step in, you know, my spiritual evolution, sort of focusing on this physical area. And the thing with focus areas is they are very much tied in together, but they are separate too. So when you focus on one area, you know, naturally the other areas will drop a little bit. And I don't know if you guys have seen the, it's like the life wheel, and you cut it, it's like a pie chart, and you do wedges for each area of your life. And what you do is you draw a line indicating how full you think that wedge is, that area of your life. So for example, the health wedge. For me, that's been quite low. Spirituality has felt quite high. And the idea is, you know, you fill in the different areas and kind of see what your life looks like. And for most people, it's this disjointed, like weird spider looking thing. You've got one up here, one down here, one over here. And the idea is to focus on the different areas, to expand each so that you can get more of a holistic or wheel, so that you're more balanced in life in general, instead of just focusing on one area being awesome in that, but in all the others you're feeling depleted, you know. So for now I'm focusing on health. So it does take away some of my focus from my spirituality, which I'm now okay with. I wasn't okay with that in the beginning, but I'm realizing that I am holistic and wanting to look after myself in a holistic way. So I've been starting to do that again, which has felt really good. Like I'm feeling a little bit better physically, and I'm feeling pumped. Like I really want this. I feel like once I have reached some of my goals in this area, it's just gonna help me fly in others, including my spirituality. I have had issues with depression and anxiety for quite some time, which I've briefly mentioned before, and I'm thinking I'm going to do another video on that. But a big part of that is my body image. Now, I think my body image needs to be worked on in a spiritual way, in a physical way, and in a mental way. for me, because there are parts of myself I'm physically trying to hide, you know, it takes away from my spiritual growth, because, you know, I don't get out there as much as I could. You know, I'm not as active, I'm not exploring and expanding and experiencing as much as I could. Excuse me. I'm also not physically capable of that right now either. You know, I don't have the physical stamina and that sort of thing to do a lot of the things that I really want to. So this is the area I'm focusing on right now. Now, I've also been thinking of creating a new channel. Well, I have created the channel, I just haven't put any content on there yet, which is focused around living well, living more naturally, living closer to the earth in a physical way, and just generally being more in tune with nature through the food that I eat and the actions I take. So this for me very much includes diet, it includes moving, getting outside, all that sort of thing. It includes, you know, creating a garden, being outside, touching the earth, you know, exploring different natural places, all this kind of stuff. So very much, you know, health from a pagan point of view, I feel. Very much from a naturalistic point of view. And you know, I've had a lot of these goals for a long time, and, you know, previously I was living those goals. You know, I've been engaged more in them now even. So for example, I compost now. I never used to do that. I eat a lot of wild edibles. So I've got tons of different wild edibles just on my little property that I've identified. So there's like 10 or 11 or something like that that I eat. So that's been really cool too, different things like that. So I'm wanting to really focus on this stuff on another channel, and kind of keep this as a more like witchy, magical, spiritual, whatever, me kind of channel, you know. Yeah, so I've been thinking of doing that. I've been feeling a little bit apprehensive about it. It feels like a big new step, and I'm a bit like, ooh. But I'm gonna get on to doing that soon. I may even film the first video for that after this. I don't know. I feel like I'm on a roll at the moment. I just filmed a video for starting out solitary, actually, which I'll be uploading sometime after this video. So if you want to check that out and see me stumbling, I'm doing it right now, stumbling over a whole bunch of words, that could be fun. So that's on the other channel. Yeah, so that's kind of what's going on. So I feel like, you know, in terms of health, I'm getting into a flow. And in terms of spirituality, I'm in a little bit of an ebb. But again, they both so much are connected to each other. And I think that's something important to remember as well, because I know that a lot of you out there will have experienced the same thing, or, you know, will completely understand where I'm coming from, go, yes, I know that feeling. And we can't be all things to ourselves at all times. And if there is an area of life that is feeling depleted, you know, it is important for the other areas of life that you give it some focus. It doesn't have to be your whole focus. For me, I'm really channeling in on this. I kind of seem to be a bit like that anyway. Like, I'm a Leo. I'm like a kitten, you know, ball of yarn. Like, I've got to, like, I'm focused like on whatever it is that's moving right now. So for me, it's health. But obviously I'm still like, now, because I've spent so much time focused on my spirituality, it comes into everything anyway. You know, I am a pagan and I do revere nature, and the foods that I'm putting into my body now are more natural, and so they are very much tied into each other. So I hope this has been interesting, or a little bit helpful, or a little bit of both. It was nice to chat to you guys, which really right now I'm just chatting to a camera, which is kind of weird, but you know. Yeah, I'd be interested to hear your thoughts or experiences on the topic down below. If you want to share, that would be really awesome. You know, I want this to be a really supportive kind of space. I have no kind of qualifications or anything like that. Well, actually, I am a qualified arts therapist. Not that I'm a practicing arts therapist at all, but I know a little bit about psychology, a little bit about counselling, I should say. Not that we're going there. Anyway, the point is, I'm not qualified, but I am here to kind of hear, and, you know, I would love it if, you know, in the comments you guys kind of talk to each other as well. It's been happening a little bit more. But let's all share and learn and grow together, and just be here for each other and be a community. I love you guys, and I will see you in the next video whenever that is. I wish you so much love, and I hope that whatever is going on in life right now, that you feel held and you feel loved and you feel safe. Many blessings.